Chapter 5, Part 2. A lucky coincidence of events. When Mom arrived, Mom was greeted by a Romanian director of the shelter named Marusia, who spoke Russian with a strong accent. Mom told Marusia her very ordinary story, and Marusia asked in return if she wanted to live in the shelter, saying, "There are no men here at all, only you would have to do house maintenance chores. Everything is going to be provided for your child, including child care at no cost to you." Mom quickly agreed, but as they were discussing the details, Mom noticed that Marusia was sprinkling almost half the bottle of an air freshener product, which made Mom think that they possibly stunk from the goats, sheep, and camel feces from the mansion, quote-unquote, that Mom had the greatest privilege to visit. After a conversation with her and signing all the papers, Mom quickly rushed to the shower room, taking my dirty butt with her. There was a certain room with a couple of shower heads, and for once the water was warm and pleasant. Mom enjoyed the fact that she didn't have to pay for it. Suddenly, I started crying, either because of the shampoo got into my eyes or not being used to taking showers from that Bedouin environment that I probably wish we should have stayed at. A social worker worryingly peeked in, thinking that Mom was beating me. When the lady was reassured that Mom didn't, the social worker left. Afterwards, the girls that Mom was staying with suggested not to take showers in the morning when the social workers were on duty, but to shower in the evening to avoid their watchfulness. Mom liked the conditions she was in. The first day, they gave her some slack. There was no relatives, no mice, and no husbands. Instead, there was a permeation of warmth all around, homemade food, and a bed with fresh linens. In that day, Mom managed to make friends. The second day of her stay, Mom was solemnly brought to a matate, a broomstick, a dli, a bucket with water, and a smartut, a mop. Mom had to befriend these Hebrew words for 8 months. With them, Mom was instructed to clean rooms, bathrooms, and showers. At the beginning, Mom had trouble with the task because she developed vicious calluses on her feet. But eventually, Mom conquered the pain. In her cleaning duty, there was a situation one day when Mom had to take out the garbage in a big container while there was a downpour outside, and I was clinging to Mom. Mom couldn't leave me in the facility because I cried without her. So as not to get wet under the rain for a long time, Mom didn't completely shut the door. She was supposed to shut it tightly, as it was the rule to follow, so that no strangers would get into such a sensitive territory. A person residing at the shelter who left the premises was required to shut the door, even if it was for a minute, and then they had to press a button, and the guards had to recognize them before reopening the door. To Mom's bad luck, while the door remained open, guards came to check the premises and detected the door not tightly shut. They asked who the last to leave was, and it turned out to be Mother. Mom was afraid that she would be kicked out from the shelter for not obeying the rule. By that time, Mom had really grown accustomed to it, even to the chores. She treasured the place, only she was missing male interaction. Mom was called to talk to Marusia, who admonished Mom for not shutting the door, saying, What if some Arab barged into the premises and raped some of the girls? Mom cockily and jokingly answered, "Then I would have asked to be the first." Marusia, throughout Mom's stay, had grown to like Mom's sarcastic humor and cheerfulness, especially because Mom came from Europe like her. She laughed at Mom's comment, but then sternly said, "Please don't do this again. You have put many women here at risk. This shelter protects women from the unhealthy relationships that they were engaged in. Therefore, the door has to be shut at all times." Mom cooled off from the joking attitude and nodded in understanding of the level of seriousness of the matter. To Mom's relief, Mom didn't get kicked out. Soon after, Mom was entrusted with the bathroom and kitchen to clean. In 3 months, Mom learned how to control the broomstick like in a circus that, in the absence of men, turned out to be her closest friend that she passionately clung to. While mopping the floor with it, Mom imagined that it was her boyfriend. With her showing so much dexterity in accomplishing her chores, Mom was promoted to working only in the kitchen. Not that Mom thought that it was much easier, but the benefit of working solely in the kitchen was that there was a music tape, and Mom was able to listen to Russian music that she liked. Mom particularly liked the music when it was really loud, and it occupied her mind while washing not a small heap of dishes, as she liked to sing along, which helped her from being overwhelmed by the size of pots that almost were the size of her. One day, in the middle of the night, Mom was woken up by the girls, who told her in Hebrew that she still had pots left to wash. Mom pretended that she didn't understand. So, frustrated, they found a girl by the name of Sarah who spoke Russian, and she translated for Mom. Mom said that she didn't have to finish the chore right there and then. The girls asked what Mom was saying, and Sarah translated that Mom wished everybody good night. In the next afternoon, Mom was washing those absent pots, and she wanted to wash them as fast as was possible in order to go for a walk with me when I woke up, since I was sleeping at the time. Next to Mom's feet, and she was working on those pots, was playing someone's small girl, who was about 2 years old. Suddenly, the girl fell and hit her head by the foot of the stool in the kitchen and burst into violent tears. Mom approached her to simply check her and see how badly she was hurt. When the girl's mother came to the kitchen in a panic, she took the girl to her hands, and the mother asked who hit her. The girl pointed at my mom. When one frames the question to a small child in a certain way, they don't have the ability to think outside the box, so they simply answer the question to explain what had happened to them. Mom contended that she didn't touch the kid and she was far away from her. Instead, though, Mom was accused to have pushed her. Nobody believed Mom, so she cried and went to the room where I slept. Mom was morbidly hurt that nobody believed her. While Mom was crying, I woke up and I was wiping Mom's tears from her face to console her. I was about 2 years old myself. The lady of the hurt girl complained to Marusia, and Marusia checked the kitchen, imagining what happened. She believed Mom. When Marusia came to comfort Mom, Mom defensively explained that there was no way that she hurt the child, and Marusia nodded her head consolingly, saying, "I know, you can continue washing the dishes." After the heat of the situation passed, Mom befriended the mother of the little girl. After a while of living in the shelter, Mom was reminiscing about her family and grieved the fact that she had no contact with them whatsoever. Mom went to Jerusalem to the Wailing Wall and prayed to our dear Lord that Grandma would find her somehow and come to Israel to help her out with her desperate predicament. During Mom's stay in the shelter, Mom had also befriended a lady named Allah, whose husband forced her to do prostitution, for which reason she ran away with a small son and found her way in that shelter. Allah was extremely beautiful. Because of Mom's and Allah's good workmanship in the shelter, both of them got awarded with 2 tickets to go to the concert of a famous Ukrainian singer named Sofia Rotaro. Mom didn't have anything fancy to wear, and Allah lent her a black dress. While inside the performing theater, someone called Mom's name during the interim. Mom was surprised to hear her name, because as far as she knew, nobody in that area was supposed to know her by name. It was Grandpa Peter's friend, Uncle Roma, who knew Mom since childhood. Uncle Roma said that Grandpa was looking for Mom, and he wondered if she could give him her phone number and address. Mom said to him that for now she didn't have any phone number, neither an address. She was shy to tell Uncle Roma her address and reveal her circumstances, and instead she explained to Uncle Roma that she was living in a secret place. Uncle Roma said that Mom could come to him, and from his place she could call Grandpa Peter. The next The next week, Uncle Roma and Mom coordinated in such a way that Mom was able to talk to Grandpa Peter. Mom told Grandpa about the stay with Uncle Yura and where she was staying at right then. She didn't tell Grandpa about her Bedouin experience so as not to get him too upset. Grandpa, in return, informed Mom that Grandma was getting ready to come to Israel as soon as she sent Anna, Mom's sister, to America. He continued, Mom and I are planning to gather some money for you. This news felt liberating to Mom. Her wishes had come true. God had heard her prayers and arranged that to happen masterfully. After all the exertions for Mom to be financially independent from Dad had proved to become a failure, in the hot summer heat of 1992, Mom was approached by the social workers who insisted on Mom submitting documents requiring alimony from Father, which had become a condition for Mom in order to be able to divorce Dad. Mom second-guessed that a little bit because Dad had started calling her back, promising good fortunes to Mom, but the social workers were insistent on the fact that if Mom was to deny alimony, she would have to deny custody of me. Mom finally connected to her senses and thought, why would I deny my only child from myself? I am not a drug addict or a drunkard. I am a very capable mother. Mom followed the advice of the social workers. As a result, Dad received a notice from the alimony mother's whereabouts and visitation rights. Mom had to give me to Dad for a visit for 2 hours to walk with me. Dad came, and Mom saw him through the window. He was wearing a vest and shorts while smoking a cigarette. He didn't bring any sweets to treat me with. Usually, children who met with their fathers were brought packets of sweets. While Dad visited me occasionally as was planned, after some time, Mom began to receive alimony from Dad. The problem with the alimony was that Dad wasn't paying it off. The Israeli government was paying for him. Thus, Dad plunged into a huge debt with interest of 50,000 shekels. Right now, he is trying to pay it off by paying 100 shekels a month. Who do you think is going to inherit this debt? Make a wild guess, please. That's my dad. What's your dad like? Nonetheless, as events were falling into place as was planned by the social workers, Marusia called Mom to her office and told Mom that she could look for an apartment to rent. Mom didn't want me to change nurseries in order to provide some kind of stability in the most typically unstable conditions that one could think of. When I first started the nursery, I threw temper tantrums, but after I got used to it, I went there joyfully and I was fed very well. For that reason, Mom wanted an apartment close to it. The teachers there were very respectful towards my type of persona. I didn't like to sleep during the afternoon while all the other children obediently slept. Mom was alerted and asked to pick me up, but after a while it became a consistent problem. So they had mercy on Mother and allowed me to be up, leading philosophical conversations with the teachers while having a pacifier in my mouth and joyfully sitting on their laps. I was also allowed to sit on the chair and sweetly observe how normal children sleep. There was no forcing, there was no strict discipline. They let me conduct my own childish choices. As Grandpa promised, my grandparents gathered $400 and sent it to Mom. Mom had that plus alimony and she was able to rent her first apartment of her own. It was located in a building on the 4th floor, the very top, which also was called the Komat HaOlim, the immigrant floor, because it was the cheapest. When she came there was no furniture, no bed, no lamps, no specific fixtures for the toilet. The wallpaper was ripped and the boiling water for the bath didn't consistently work. During summers it would work well, but during winter, in its most necessity, it would not. The only thing that made Mom for a split second happy was that there was a laundry machine, which turned out to be broken as well. However, it was a 3-room apartment, the size that Mom needed, as she expected both Grandma and Great-Grandma to come. It was another Azochonveski godforsaken house, although this time Mom was managing her own finance.